Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah. Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah.
Alhamdulillah, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Welcome to another session of our Hadith class, and we're studying the Hadiths from Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atli's book entitled Divine Hadith Qudsi. And these are over 100 Qudsis addressing different issues of Islam. And of course, what makes the Hadith Qudsi so spectacular is the fact that they're hadiths where Allah is really telling us of himself. Where's my hadith at? I'm trying to find the hadith. Where did I just put it at, guys? It's on my desktop. Uh-oh, hold on. These are hadiths, Hadith Qudsi. Allah tells us of himself. Where did my Hadith Qudsi I just made the Hadith for y'all. Where did it go?
Which number is it?
No, I'm just saying it was on my desktop. It done disappeared. I see quiz, names of Allah. Let me make sure I didn't put it in here accidentally. Nope. Well, we'll just have to go without looking at the hadith, but I just made the hadith. That makes me angry because, let me see. Hadith 24, this is it. Let's see where it's at. Oh, it's opening up, guys. I don't know where it's stored at. Okay, here it is. Let me save it. Oh, to my desktop. This PC, save it to desktop. Okay, here it is. Save. I wonder why come it didn't save the first time. Where? Okay, here it is. Let's put it up here. Yeah, what makes Hadith Qudsis so spectacular is the fact that these are hadiths where Allah is telling us basically about himself, how to get close to him. He's also telling us of his meaning of his names, his attributes, what he likes, what he dislikes, and all that. And I love this book because Sheikh Atli took 100 Qudsi and then he broke down the meaning of them and the lessons to be learned. And I really love this book. It's become one of my favorite books. In fact, I'll never teach from Imam Nawawi's 40 Hadith Qudsi. I'll be using Sheikh Atli's Divine Hadith Qudsi book because he covers 100 of them instead of 40. Okay, well, let's look at the Hadith number 24 for today. Oh, and look, and just ignore this picture. Whatever this picture is, I rushed and did the PowerPoint for class, and the picture automatically comes up based on what you type. Anyway, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the actions of every dead person comes to an end with his death, except a person who is guarding the borders of Allah. For that person, his deeds will be made to go on increasing for him until the day of judgment, and he will be protected from the trials of the grave. Now, what is this speaking about? This is speaking about a person who has a job. Your job is to be, you work as a guard for the border of a Muslim country. Say you will live in Saudi Arabia, you are a border patrol policeman. Your job is to keep people from invading or sneaking into the country. If you die doing that, this is a martyr, and this hadith applies to you. Or you live in Pakistan, or you live in Malaysia, or you live in Ghana, or any Muslim country. Okay, and your job is to work as an officer protecting people from sneaking in. Now, this brings us to a question that a lot of Muslims need to understand. Islam forbids us as Muslims to be in an army of a non-Muslim country. What if you have to fight against Muslims? In America, anyone in America fights is going to be a Muslim country. But we still have many Muslim kids joining the army, the Marines, and all of this. I don't know what's this is signs of the last hour, I guess, but you parents need to get it together. Now, if you lived in a Muslim country like Egypt or Oman or Kuwait or Malaysia or Pakistan, that's different. And your job is a border patrolman, and you are trying to stop somebody from sneaking in and they shoot you and you die as a result. This hadith applies to you. And let's take a look at it. Again, all your good deeds will continue to increase for you until the day of judgment, and you will not have to worry about the trials of the grave. These people are not punished in their graves. And for the trial, they don't have to deal with the, I don't mean that they don't have to deal with the trials of the grave. So it's a wonderful hadith for us to ponder, okay? Because it teaches us the special status of people who take on these type of jobs in Muslim lands, not America. I know a few Muslims. I mean, I used to work for the government. I just retired not too long ago. And I knew some Muslims who applied for jobs as border patrol. America, yeah, they got them from Mexico. Their job is to try to keep the Mexicanos from sneaking into America. I'm sorry, America ain't no Muslim country. So this hadith don't apply to you. Any Mexican that take you out as you trying to keep them out, hey, life, sarah, okay? You know, because America ain't no Muslim country. But for a Muslim land to have this type of job, it's a good thing. So how does this hadith impact you? Anyone would like to share? Go ahead.
I'll go. It just impacted me to actually teach my kids, like you said, teach your children to not try to be in the army, because right now, how they're always talking about you get loans and you get this and you get this and that to try to go over there and fight against the Muslims. And it's very important for you to know and to teach others that you know, especially the young generation, because a lot of kids right now, even at my son's kids' school, they're telling the kids, you know, to give them loans and stuff for college, and they get this and that once they finish. So it's a good thing. I knew, of course, I knew that, but it put more emphasis in it. So I like the idea.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, go ahead, sister. Yeah, we let our kids know this, because taking the life of a Muslim ain't no loan worth that. Yes, go ahead, Zarina.
Yeah, it's just a reminder of knowing the importance of knowing our allegiance, you know, to Allah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Muslims. And people can say that, but duh, I mean, it can't be to some other country or some other group or whatever. So, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you see how this hadith correlates to allegiance. If we understood truly what who our allegiance is supposed to be to, then no Muslim would consider taking on a military job for a non-Muslim country. Good job. Yes, go ahead, Sabrina.
And like what was said too, also is that as parents, you know, we should start while our children are very young enough to understand anyway, that they don't have any part in their armies anyway, because they're going over there and they're killing Muslims. And so why would we support that, or why would we endorse that or encourage our children to go over there and fight? And really not even, and so many children are killed, babies are killed, you know, and they're going to be accountable for that. So they should really do some deep thinking about that.
Exactly. So it's a powerful hadith to wonder, a lot of benefit for a person that takes on a career in the Muslim lands doing this. But for those of us who live in Kafir lands, you need to think twice. Yes, go ahead, Sahara.
I was gonna say it's a good thing that you brought up this hadith because it also shows that the trickery that they pull, especially when you're like not in a non-Muslim land. They'll be like, oh, they give you all these benefits, but there are a lot of tricks and like things that they put in place that make it harder for you to get those things. And not only that, it's a manipulation game too. You start to like see even your own people as enemies sometimes, even though they're not the enemy your allegiance is supposed to be to them. They play like these really bad mind games on you. So then when you're in the like the battlefield, you think all these people are bad, but they don't know that majority of the time their parents came from a situation like that where people would come in and destroy their houses and prey on like in the like innocent civilians and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of mind games and trickery, and we need to just remind our children that being in a non-Muslim land, they don't have allegiance towards us. We only have allegiance to like the Muslim countries, and it doesn't matter what they're doing. We can't do nothing about their rulers there, but we always have to remember our allegiance is towards them only.
Right. I like how you said that our allegiance is toward the Muslims. May not be towards the leaders, because the leaders are corrupt, but hey, it's towards the Muslims. And even for those Muslims living in those countries, what did the Prophet say? As long as your leaders are performing the prayer, do not rebel against them. Islam forbids us from rebelling against our leaders as long as our leaders are performing the prayers. So even though those Muslims live in those countries and see and witness corruption, they can't rebel. They're not supposed to rebel against them anyway. Yes, go ahead, Sister Zaytun.
This also reminded me of how joining political stuff in non-Muslim countries, and then it goes back to allegiance, because now you end up doing things that are against your beliefs, like the LGBTQ and all this stuff, because as a political person in America, for example, you have to, because if you end up voicing anything against the LGBTQ, now you become homophobic, and then you want to be on the good side of trying to police your non-Muslims, and then the trying to police your Muslim friends, and then now you're confused and end up doing things that are against Allah's written for you, or what you as a Muslim should be doing.
Exactly, guys. That's why Allah says, we have to disassociate from them, because they're never going to accept us. Their lifestyles doesn't coincide with ours. Their belief system is not like ours. If we speak out and voice our belief, we're the one that's viewed as being terroristic and crazy for not accepting what even they claim their belief system is said. So this is why we have to disassociate with these people and not sit there and try to be friends with them. Yes, go ahead, Latifa.
Okay. Well, for me, this hits so close to home for me, because I'm battling with my child and her, I guess, husband to be is at going into the service. I just had a talk with them last night about it. So this supports what I was trying to share with them. And hopefully this will give me more information to share with them, but, she got her dad, he's not Muslim, and he's a Navy man. So of course he's pushing that aspect. So at this point I can just keep talking and just make dua, because I don't know which way it's going to go, because they're looking towards making that kind of career out of joining one of the military services.
This is not good.
That,
this is a
just
problem.
making duas, mainly what I can do at this point.
Yeah, this is a problem with a lot of Muslims here in America, and I don't get it. I just don't get it. But I heard that men in the Navy men are gay. Hello, I just had to throw that in there.
All Navy men are not gay. You always throw some salt in the game.
Being a Marine, I heard the Navy men are gay.
Yeah, so it's tough. It's a hard battle with the two of them. While she may not be going into the service, but she'll still have a part in it because
because of her husband. Yeah. He's Muslim too, so he got to think. You got to get him to really think.
Well, he's not really practicing anything, so.
It don't matter, but he's Muslim. It should be embedded within him.
Yeah.
You know, you have to make sure he understands that. Yes, go ahead, Brother Noor. Go ahead.
This hadith connects with me because I had a cousin who wanted to go join the Marine, and I tried to like explain to him like the things like US does to Islamic countries and how they spoil blood, and I tell him like our parents, they don't support the army, like going to the army. So our parents are huge uh, like they don't support army at all because we come from war. And he still is like debating going that route, whether he wants to join the army or not, but I'm still trying to like explain to him why he shouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's all a matter of whether he fears Allah, because we don't fight for no Kafir land. We just can't. And everybody knows Allah is clear. That's what allegiance, that's what that La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah means. Any Muslim's blood is sacred. Anyone that declares La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, their life, their property, their honor is sacred. And that's, everybody knows America fights the Muslim lands. There ain't nobody else to fight. So these Muslims are going to have to decide whether they believe in Allah or whether they don't. If you believe in Allah and you fear him, you will obey him and do what he says do. But if you don't, like I said, a lot of people are hypocrites. Islam is becoming strange. We got a lot of hypocrites nowadays. You know, they don't care. It's all about the falus. What did the prophet say he feared the most for us? Falus, the money, the life of this world, that money. You know, and the sad thing is, the army don't give, you ain't getting, we Googled it yesterday. What's $20 an hour? You can make $20 an hour working that daggone nursing home. You know, there ain't no money in the military, and not for nobody starting off, you know, so, but it's about where people's faith is. You know, it's about where their iman is. And Allah, you know, all you can do is remind them as to what Allah says, that it's a haram to take the life of another Muslim. And if you go into the military, that's who America is fighting. America's their enemies are the Muslim lands, not no other lands. They ain't, Australia's not their enemy. Canada's not their enemy. United Kingdom is not their enemy. Their enemy is African lands. Those are Muslim. Their enemy is the Middle East, period. So anybody that does that is ignorant and nothing you can do. Yes, go ahead, Melion.
This hadith is like, you know, kind of scary because it makes me think about another hadith by the Prophet ﷺ where he talks about like two Muslims, you know, fighting against each other, like drawing their swords towards each other. Both of them go to hell because their intention was to kill. So that's kind of like what you're prepared to do in the military. Your intention is just to kill. You're not helping anyone. In fact, you're making the situation worse. So imagine like how much like heavy, like the burden is going to be for you on the day of judgment.
Yeah, because to hell forever. Like you said, you just gave the hadith. Any Muslim that fights against another Muslim and kicks his life, he's in hell forever because his intentions was to kill him. So is it worth going to hell forever to get paid $20 an hour when you can go work at a nursing home and make that amount of money, which still ain't nothing? You know, hellfire forever. Something that we need to think about and put into our children, guys. Remember, the road to paradise is not easy. It's hard. Anything that you think is easy leads to hell. So if you think it's easier for you to go to the army than it is to go to college, that should tell you army leads to hell. College leads to paradise. Because the prophet said, whatever comes easy, if it's too easy, it's going to lead you to hell. Paradise is paved with thorns. So it ain't about the easy way out and stuff like that. All right. Okay, I want to thank everybody for joining and participating in this session. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow we have the Sunnahfollowers Kids program. And before that, we have the Quran reading class. Sister Dahlia won't be here, but Zarina will be substituting. That's at 11 a.m. Sister Khadijah and everybody be here for her class at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 10 a.m. Central, Khadijah. All right, so I'm going to close out for tonight. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.